Satisfy your need for happiness through your own curiosity with the Ranveer Show. There's some stuff I want to say which is like slightly controversial. It's from our last conversation. Do you remember what it was about?
Approval?
It was about psilocybin.
Psilocybin, yeah.
It sparked off something in my mind, okay? And maybe I won't highlight the psilocybin session as much. I really want to highlight the following, which is that I had a very strained relationship with my father for 29 years of my life, maybe 30 years of my life. I just had a sit down with him and I told him very politely and very empathetically that, hey, we've not spoken for a long time. This is the problem I had when I was growing up. And he didn't really respond to the problems. He kind of explained to me about like his predicament and his mindset in those years. There wasn't any solution that came out of that situation. But the fact that we just had an open conversation with no solution healed the relationship after that. And now we're fine for the first time in 30 years.
There doesn't ever have to be a solution, but there was acceptance because you had a platform to be heard, to communicate, to express.
But it began with just feeling a little extra empathy for him at age 29 because of what I mentioned earlier. See, it sparked off something.
I'll come back to psilocybin. It has its place. There is no doubt about it. I've worked closely with Dr. Gabor Mate. We met in California several times. We did talks together. He does psilocybin sessions as well. There is no doubt that psilocybin can help us break certain fears. How? Break fears by giving us the ability to speak. Why is fear our biggest problem? Because it contains us. It prisons us. But today, if I drop fear and I speak, okay, what was holding me back? Fear. Psilocybin has the ability to help us overcome fears by taking the right action. It's not going to happen magically. It'll break down what's holding me back. Maybe it's courage, strength, whatever it is. So there is a direct connection with that. People can open up and break fears when done the right way. So I'm talking about psilocybin in two ways. There are people who misuse it because, hey, it's cool, it's a drug, let's do this. And there are people who use, everything is intention. If you use it with intention, the right way, with the right guidance, all of these things can happen because we live in a world where we all have our fears. What would he think? What would she think? What would he do? What would she do? But the point is, it's beautiful. I'm happy. I remember the conversation what we had last time. And we should never get into conversations with our parents with an intention that I want a solution. Now that's demand. That's ego. Just start off with talking, communicating. The fact that he heard you and you could hear him is expression. Expression heals most people.
Yeah, that relationship has become so relaxed.
I'm so happy for you.
Oh, thank you, bro. And
So
I've spoken
happy
about
for
this to you for years now. Right from when, we shot at Bandra Social, Carter Road Social. I mean, then you've seen not just BeerBiceps grow, but you've seen the bro in me change as well. So it just relaxed my mind and my soul to such a deep degree, having a relaxed equation with my father for the first time in my life. I feel like I've become more empathetic towards him, obviously.
Yeah, but talk about other aspects of your life as well.
Yeah. I've become more empathetic towards myself. I've become more empathetic towards the world because I've been more empathetic towards my father.
So what was holding you back from all of these things? The father-son relationship. And that's the truth. I'm telling you, so many young boys and men out there, if they just got the approval of their father. Like I'm telling you, I have people in jail too. Okay? And I have fathers, okay, who tell me, I go to meet my son in jail. Okay? Yes, you're punished for your crime, but I still love you. That approval. Of course, everyone will do bad stuff. Show me one human who is without sin. Show me one human who's without flaw. You're just great. Everyone's just great at showing they're perfect and good all the time. They exist. But I always tell parents, you want to discipline your kid? How are you doing it? You bring them up. That's your choice. But first, reaffirm that you love them. Don't create detachment. Don't make them think, yes, I'm at fault for this behavior, but I'm still loved. When anyone gets approval from their parents because we're all seeking that. Some people say, my father's an old man. What will approval do? You have no idea. So I'm so happy that you brought this up because this will send a message to so many people out there. I've just spoken about approval and you've lived it. Fantastic.
That one conversation which I had with him. So he visited me in my own house for the first time in 2.5 years after me shifting.
That's so beautiful.
You know, so just having him sit in my house and all, it was a whole experience. The conversation for like 45 minutes to an hour was uncomfortable for me because I was starting to get triggered by some of his responses, but the trick was to not act upon your own triggers. And that was years of meditation at play where you can at least spot that, okay, this is my trigger. I can feel that anger rising, but I'm not going to act upon it. Finish that conversation entirely. So I've seen that generation of men, at least in India, they have a habit of making fun of like these kind of heavy conversations. It's a very bro mechanism to brush off tension, to brush it under the carpet. But I told him, hold on, don't crack jokes right now because the jokes will trigger me. Being brushed aside. And he listened. He was like, okay, tell me. He just listened to me. That was it. But it's very important to have that uncomfortable 45-minute or an hour-long conversation with your father if you're a son, or with your mom if you're a daughter.
Bro, what I like what you've done in this, it's not just that you had this conversation, but you were yourself. You had the ability to tell him, please don't crack the jokes right now. You were expressive. A lot of people would have moved back into victim mode. See, I can't even have a conversation with my father. He makes a joke. But you actually were the bigger person in that conversation. And your father was also a bigger person because he stayed on to that conversation. He said, okay, fine, I won't do it. See, this is what acceptance is. No one's perfect. No one is going to say the things that we want them to say the way we want to hear it. My mom, anyone may say something in their way which has an intention of real goodness. But because we've not heard it the way we want to, we'll be like, how could you say that? And that's why most relationships are broken, because we have expectation. I love what you did in that conversation. You stood up for what you want and you kept it going. Otherwise, you could have slipped into victim mode. It's useless. I've tried. Give up immediately.
I also want to highlight this one conversation I had maybe a few months post the conversation we just spoke about, where I had a fight with him again. But I handled the fight better.
Beautiful.
And I think he handled the forgiveness better as well. And I kind of lashed out at him because I got triggered about something. He felt bad, and within the next hour I called him and said, listen, you and me have come far, like after like so long. I'm sorry, it's not like that. And he forgave me like that.
Beautiful.
So I feel like that main conversation also, it's changed something in him. He's feeling better. I'm visiting him more. All these things. But I think dealing with aging parents, it's a very important skill that should be spoken about.
Bro, take a lesson out of what you just said. See, sometimes we have to be the bigger person. Of course, our parents, elderly, we respect. Respect is a very, very big word. But sometimes we need to be the bigger person in that, because we don't know what, I'm not saying your dad, my dad, we don't know what they've gone through. Have we ever sat down our dads to ask the kind of life they went through? That's made them who they are. And at that age, it's very difficult to change. But at our age, it's easier. So sometimes we need to be the bigger person, but we're just caught into that fight with parents or whatever because we're lacking the 3 words that I spoke about: love, approval, validation, and a sense of belonging and security. When someone feels safe, when someone is in love, when someone's getting approval, they don't care. That's fulfillment. You don't care what people think about you. You don't care what happens. You're fulfilled. You're fulfilled. When we're constantly chasing this illusion of happiness, happiness is never meant to be permanent. It's because we lack these 3 things. And that's why I ask everyone today, all of us might find, I'm lacking on this. Where can I find it? Which relationship do I need to rekindle? Oh, I used to get this from my brother. I haven't spoken to my brother for 2 months. Maybe we should meet often. Call, fly down, see him. Rekindle the sources where you were once getting this or getting it. Do it the right way. And I'm telling you, when we're fulfilled with these 3 things, our life is very, very different. The small things that happen, we get through it because we're fulfilled.
If you enjoyed today's clip, make sure you check out these curated playlists that we've made especially for you related to the subject that was spoken about in this clip.